ציווי. ויודו וליבינו, והחשיכה יסלחו. ימותו כל מויזני אורץ. אני אמרתי, אלוהים אתם, ובני אליין כולכם. אוכן כאדם תמוסון, וכחד הסורים תפעלו. קומו אלוהים שופטו האורץ, כי אתה שמחה בכל הגויים. You have the pushka to be passed around. Okay, we're going to learn something about Kislev. And soon I'll get to it. I'll give something out that you can follow inside. So basically, if you looked at the booklets that we gave out, you have a little bit of an understanding about the Yontif. We come to realize two things. Why was the Alter Rebbe arrested? Alter Rebbe was in jail. His life was in danger. Miraculously was saved. Why was he in jail? So there's two reasons why he was in jail. One was the reason that is a reason that could be understood on the surface, and the other is a deeper reason that the Alter Rebbe himself explained when he came out of jail. The reason on the surface was the Alter Rebbe spread Chassidus, and at that time it was something which was not popular, it was something new, and there were many Jews, and we're talking about Jews who are from Jews, observe Torah, observe mitzvahs, but the idea of studying the hidden secrets of Torah, which is related to Kabbalah, to them, this was something which was inconceivable. This is something which is never done. It's something new. And it looked to them like this is a deviation from following the normal traditional way that we do things. So they came out against the Alter Rebbe, and especially people had fear that this was connected to a movement which was a number of years earlier, the movement called the movement of Shabtai Tzvi, and that was a movement which was, he was a false Mashiach, and he misled people, and ultimately it created tremendous chaos in the Jewish community, and not only that, it caused a number of people, a few hundred people, he and they all converted to another religion, Rahman al-Islam. So they thought this is a continuation of that, and it's leading everybody in the wrong place. So they decided to come out in the most aggressive way against it. To the extent that they felt justified that being that the Alter Rebbe is one of the greatest leaders in this movement, that if they execute, God forbid, the leader, then the whole movement will fall apart. And how do you do that? That's what they did. They filed a complaint against the Alter Rebbe to the government, a false document saying different things about him, and basically pointing out that he was supporting a movement to make a revolution and bring down the Tsar. Pretty dangerous accusation. How did they even manage to pull that through? Was because the Alter Rebbe sent thousands of ruble to Israel to support the families that lived there, very poor families. Israel was then under the Turkish Empire, and they were not in good terms with Russia. So they came to the government and said, here's a man that's sending thousands and thousands of ruble to a foreign country. It's not going into their own country, but to a foreign country. And clearly he's giving them support to eventually strengthen their army and their military and their weapons to come and bring down the Tsar. That was their theory. And it worked. They arrested the Alter Rebbe. That's the reason on the surface. The Alter Rebbe explained, but really there was a deeper reason. And what happened down here is because of something going on up there. What was going on up there? Up there, meaning in the heavenly court, in Shamayim, they were prosecuting angels that argued the Alter Rebbe is doing something which is wrong from a spiritual perspective, not because of a mistake or they misunderstood. We're talking about angels. And in the heavenly court, there was a strong opinion that the Alter Rebbe is violating one of the rules, that the hidden secrets of Torah have to be hidden, and he's revealing them. And because of that, there was a decree that he might have to lose his life because he's revealing the hidden secrets of Torah. So regarding this, there's a Sikha of the Rebbe. I don't have that Sikha in English, that's why I'm giving it over orally. And the Sikha is a question. What's the question? So here to go into this, I want to give this out if someone could pass this around. The question is, this already happened in the past and already was clarified in the past. So why does it need to be dealt with again? What are we talking about? So this goes back to a story that happened in the times of the Maggid Mezrich. The Maggid Mezrich was the second leader of Chassidus. He was the successor of the Baal Shem Tov. And he began to reveal Chassidus even a little bit more than the Baal Shem Tov. And in his times, there was another great tzaddik. This tzaddik was a colleague of the Maggid Mezrich and a student of the Baal Shem Tov. Very big tzaddik. His name was Pinchas of Koretz. And he was really in opposition to revealing so much Chassidus. He felt that even though we're learning Chassidus, it has to be very low profile, quiet, not speak about it in public, definitely not to put it down in writing. He felt that's too much exposure. This is something which used to be hidden completely. Now it's a little bit hidden, but this is too much. One time he came to visit the Maggid Mezrich, and he saw that there was a piece or two pieces of paper of the Maggid's teachings with the hidden secrets of Torah, but it was on the floor. I think it was near the garbage. Apparently, wind blew it off the table and it was on the floor. And he felt that this is a result of being so light with these deep secrets of Torah, that it's such a disgrace that something so holy should be on the floor in such a disgraceful way. The Alter Rebbe saw on his face and saw his thoughts that he is thinking that he's upset with the Maggid Mezrich, that look what he's doing. It's because he allowed to write this down on paper. And the Alter Rebbe immediately said to him, I want to tell you a mashal. I want to give you a mashal, a parable. This is the parable. Here in this, which what I'm reading here over here, I just want to read it with you. We'll start from the bottom of page 63, the first page. There was once a lot of people heard the mashal, but not the details. Here are the details. There was once an extremely powerful king who had an only son. In order to prepare for the throne, the king desired that his son should develop into a very strong and wise person. Imagine, he has to take over the kingdom. So to achieve this, he sent him to a faraway island to learn about the nature and hidden powers and remedies of different plants and animals, to hunt wild animals and birds in dangerous places, and I guess do other things which will make him more courageous and develop certain skills, and certainly learn about all different kinds of people. One day, the king was informed that his beloved son, who was in the distant, desolate island, had become extremely sick. And the local doctors there could not find a cure for the illness. So the king immediately ordered that an announcement to be made throughout the whole kingdom that anyone knows of a medicine that could work, then he should come to the palace. None of the greatest doctors or the wisest men in the kingdom offered any advice. They didn't know of any physical or spiritual cure for this remedy. One day, to the king's great relief, an individual came to the palace and told the king that he knows a remedy that will surely work. There's a certain extremely rare and precious stone that has special therapeutic qualities. The stone would have to be ground into an extremely fine powder mixed with good wine. And if the prince will drink even a little bit of this mixture, it'll be healed. There's some property in this precious diamond or whatever it was that this would bring healing. King immediately gathered all the wise men in his kingdom and that understood these things, gave them all the qualities and signs that the individual gave him, and he commanded them they should search throughout the king's treasure and to find such a stone. They all got together and they were looking for this kind of stone with all the requirements. They found it, according to all the signs. But there was a problem. Where was the stone found? The only place it was found is in one place. It was the one that was radiating in the middle of the king. And when a king has a crown, there's a jewel, a diamond, which is called the crown jewel, which means it's like sort of the central piece of the crown that enhances, gives the beauty to the crown more than any other diamond. So initially they said to themselves that on one hand we have the diamond, and on the other hand it means taking it away from the king's crown. And the king's crown, that's kingdom. That's as if you're taking away the greatness of the king's kingdom. But they told the kingdom what they found. When the king heard about it, of course he was very excited and said to immediately do that, grind it and make it into powder and we'll give it to the prince. But then another messenger came with terrible news, that his condition became so bad that his lips are swollen and they don't even know if he can take in anything into his mouth. He can't swallow anything. And therefore, the crown jewel would be ruined and the king's son's life wouldn't be saved anyway because he can't take it in. That's what they told the king. There's no point. So they were shocked when the king said, no, do it anyway. And he said that maybe one drop will get in, and that one drop will bring him his life back. And they had a question to the king. Before, when his lips were okay and he was able to do it, it would have made sense. It would be worthwhile. He's saving his life. But now that his situation is so bad, and we don't even know if even one drop can get in and help him. So what's the point? We're going to lose the beauty of the king's crown. So the king said, the crown is definitely precious to me, but if it's surely worth grinding, it's surely worth grinding it up, making it into this powder. And basically, if the king's life, the prince's life is not saved, then the crown is worthless to me. What do I need it for? This is the story. And then the mashal, the metaphor to that was that Hashem's crown jewel, Hashem's crown in general is Torah. The crown jewel is the inner hidden secrets of Torah. And that's the crown jewel. And being that the condition of the Jewish people, every generation gets more and more difficult, there's more darkness, more intense darkness. And now they need something to sort of give them life, to wake them up spiritually. So therefore, Hashem says, I'm ready to have that crown jewel sort of grind it into powder, which means bring it down, reveal it to everybody that they'll have it. But through that, the child's life will be saved. Spiritually, it means that by revealing this deeper part of Torah, this will bring new life and this will give Jews the ability to stand up against the darkness because they have this deeper part of Torah to revive them. What happened after that? After that, the Mazuchi Maggid said to the Alter Rebbe, I really owe you something. I owe you my life. Because I was sleeping at the time and I saw, by tzaddikim, when they sleep, it's not a time like when we sleep, where either when we sleep, everything is blank, or when we sleep, we have some interesting dreams and we don't even know what we're thinking about. But when tzaddikim sleep, like Yaakov Avinu had to sleep, he saw a ladder, he saw angels. In their sleep, they see things that are going on spiritually. So he said in his sleep, he saw that there was a accusation leveled against him in the heavenly court, that is revealing too much chassidus. And he understood that because this great tzaddik, Rabbi Majeski, was upset, that had an effect in the heavenly court. I'm sorry. That had an effect on the heavenly court. And his life was in danger. And then he saw in the heavenly court the Alter Rebbe acting as an advocate, as a lawyer for the Maggid, and telling the story with the mashal. And Rabbi Majeski loved the mashal. He felt that you gave a good answer. And as a result of that, everything was canceled. So he said to the Alter Rebbe, basically, you saved my life. This is an introduction. So the Rebbe asked a question. This is what happened in the times of the Maggid of Mizrich. That means there was a prosecuting argument up there against the Maggid. The Alter Rebbe gave this mashal which explained why it is okay to reveal the hidden secrets of Torah. So how does it make sense that so many 26 years later, it's all over again? They started arresting the Alter Rebbe because he's revealing the secrets of Torah. He already sort of answered that question. He gave the mashal and explained that now we need it because it's more difficult times. I just want to explain in one word, what does it mean that the hidden secrets of Torah could do something more? Torah is Torah. What's the difference? The difference is that it says that the hidden Torah in general penetrates our neshama and stimulates the neshama. But the difference is the revealed part of Torah stimulates the revealed part of our neshama. And the hidden part of our Torah stimulates the hidden part of our neshama. So in the times when things were, it was darkness, but relatively bearable, we didn't need that extra deeper part of Torah to stimulate and wake up the deeper part of our neshama. We're able to handle that darkness. But once things got much more difficult, much more challenging, and spiritually the world became a darker place, we needed something deeper. It's like if you think of the Gashmias, a person has a certain limited amount of what they can do physically. This person can live 10 pounds, this person can live 20 pounds, and they have no limit how much they can do. This person can run so fast, that person can run faster. This person could jump so high, another person could jump a little bit higher. Everyone has their limits. What happens when there's a danger? God forbid someone's life is in danger and they're running away from a fire or running away from bombs. Adrenaline comes out, which means it's not something that just gets created. This is potential that I have, but this potential normally is dormant. It's beneath the surface. But when there's a danger, that hidden potential comes up to the surface. Same thing spiritually. We have much more potential than what we feel and what we are conscious of. But that hidden potential does not surface in ordinary circumstances. So being that Torah is the power that Hashem gave us to bring out and reinforce and strengthen our neshama, and that is not really working because the darkness is becoming so dark and the challenges are becoming more challenging. So the time has come to reveal a deeper part of the neshama that has more potential, and that's done by revealing the deeper part of Torah. So now the question is, why was it necessary a second time? So the Rebbe gives the following explanation. And the Rebbe says, what is the actual explanation? How come, after all, Torah doesn't change? There's a halacha in Torah that you're not supposed to reveal the hidden secrets of Torah. Torah never changes. So how did they do something which was not allowed to be done until that time? To make the question even stronger, if you remember in this class, we were learning Rambam, and the Rambam says when Mashiach comes, the whole world will be occupied with knowing Hashem. He doesn't say just studying Torah. He says specifically knowing Hashem to the extent that the human mind could know Hashem. Knowing Hashem means learning about the hidden secrets of creation, about things about Hashem that were never known before. Again, the Torah is not going to change. So how are we going to be allowed to learn these hidden secrets of Torah? So the answer is, the Torah doesn't change, but the circumstances changes. We once gave this example that if a person is, God forbid, sick and weak, and they go to the doctor, and the doctor says, don't you dare fast on Yom Kippur. You're fasting on Yom Kippur, you'll be endangering your life. So he goes to the Rav and says, that's what the doctor said. And the Rav says, you don't have to fast. In fact, you're not allowed to fast. Is that the Rav changing the halacha? No. The halacha of not eating on Yom Kippur is in ordinary circumstances. Once the condition changes, the halacha changes. Certain things that have changed is because the condition changed, but the Torah never changes. This is another example. When we say that you're not allowed to study the hidden secrets of Torah, it's not because there's something wrong with the hidden secrets of Torah. It's part of Torah, and we should be studying every part of Torah. But because people are not on the level that they could study this and understand it the way they're supposed to understand it, therefore it was prohibited. When Mashiach comes and things will be different, therefore, because the condition will be different and people will be more capable, therefore at that time the Torah, the hidden secrets of Torah will be revealed. So the same thing here. These hidden secrets of Torah were withheld for thousands of years, but when the condition changes, then things change in terms of the Torah ruling. But what's the reason? What changed? So there's two explanations. One explanation is because how bad the situation is. The other explanation is how amazingly good the situation is. Two opposite explanations. How does that make sense? So one explanation is like we just said before, the child is very sick, which means spiritually there's tremendous darkness in the world. It's becoming very challenging to keep Torah mitzvahs. And therefore we need something much deeper, much more potent, much more powerful to wake us up. And that's the hidden secrets of Torah. So that means the reason, because we ask the king, wait a second, Mr. King, or Your Royal Highness, how does it make sense? Before nobody was thinking of taking this stone and grinding it. And now, when the child's lips are closed and you don't even know if you'll get it in, now you're considering doing such a thing. And the answer is yes. Before, when his condition was not dangerous, there was no need to do something like this, and I didn't want to do something like that. But now that his life is in danger, there's nothing more important to me than to save his life. So Hashem, before, didn't want this crown jewel of Torah to be revealed. But when there's a danger in terms of our holding on to Yiddishkeit, therefore Hashem is ready to reveal it. That's one explanation. What's the other explanation? The other explanation is, as we just said, that when Mashiach comes, we will be learning this. And there are a number of things that we have to do it in order to usher in the era of Mashiach. In other words, remember we spoke about this in one of the classes, that just like physically, if you're pursuing something, you're getting to a certain destination, you want to become a doctor, you want to become a teacher, whatever it is, in order to get there, you have to start doing something which is similar. So if you want to be a doctor, you're going to observe how this doctor heals people. You want to become a Rav, people go to a Bezdin to watch how a Rav gives halachic rulings. Whatever you want to do, you need to do something similar to that as an orientation to get there. So being that we want to get to Mashiach, therefore what we do as an orientation to get to Mashiach is we do certain things now, preparing us for that time. This is similar to the halacha that it says that Erev Shabbos, Friday afternoon, like today, there's a custom to taste the food that we're going to eat on Shabbos. It's a preparation, an orientation. So one of the reasons that are given why Kabbalah was revealed now, not before, because now we're on the global level, on the largest scale, it's like Friday. Remember, we learned that every 1,000 years is like one day for Hashem. So the first 1,000 years was Sunday, second 1,000 years were Monday, and then there's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now we're in the year 5,000. And then when Chassidus began to be revealed, it was the year 5,000, which means we finished the first 5 days and we're in Friday. Friday, we're preparing for Shabbos, which is the era of Mashiach. Therefore, we also already studied the hidden secrets of Torah. That means that the reason why we're studying Chassidus is because we're so close to the ultimate time of Mashiach. The other reason is the opposite, we're so low.
There's so many people who are so not, they're only doing Mikvah, they're not doing anything.
So we have to do it for them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're willing to do it, fine. But if not, then those who do it, it's like saying there's so many people who aren't learning Torah altogether. They're not doing mitzvahs altogether. Those of us that do, well, the mitzvah Hashem bring the whole world to that place. So one of the differences like this, that's the mashal. This is what happened the first time, this is what happened the second time. The first time, what did the Alter Rebbe say? Let's grind the stone, let's make it into liquid. Maybe one drop will get in, and that'll get there. Meaning to say, up until the Alter Rebbe, the main reason for studying Chassidus was to revive the king's son, to give him life. And for that, you don't have to elaborate and you don't need a lot. One drop can do the job. It's a very potent, a very powerful medicine. And in fact, that's the way Chassidus was studied up until then. After that time, what the Alter Rebbe did was something very different, something new. He began to teach Chassidus in depth and elaborate and explain, and that was something which wasn't necessary. If one drop is enough, what do you have to do that for? And therefore, even though the first time the Alter Rebbe said something and that was able to cancel the decree because there is a reason to reveal these secrets, but it doesn't explain why you have to reveal it in such a way. So what happened? The Alter Rebbe now had to go through this again the second time. But the second time was, and I want to give you an example. I brought a sheet with me. I was looking for it before, couldn't find it. I found it only in this room. Okay. I want to give you an example how Chassidus was taught in other circles, not Chabad. What you're looking at over here is going to be pages from Keser Shem Tov, which are the writings of the Baal Shem Tov, before the Alter Rebbe. First of all, do you see what it looks like? Every paragraph is another teaching. Look at Tanya. Tanya is one subject extending over 53 chapters. Can't even compare. And my Mara of the Alter Rebbe, you turn pages and pages and pages. So this is the way it was the first two generations. Everything was short and brief. I underlined something. I thought, let's learn something just to give an idea of what's a mimer, so to speak, from the Baal Shem Tov. There's a short one, the one that's underlined. It says like this: a person should serve Hashem with all his might, and everything he does, he should do it because Hashem wants him to serve him. But Hashem wants a person to serve him in all different ways. Sometimes a person is traveling. Sometimes a person is talking to other people, and even then you still should be connected to Hashem. Sometimes a person is traveling on the road, he cannot daven, he cannot study. Nevertheless, serve Hashem while you're traveling on the road. Don't be upset that now I can't serve Hashem through davening and learning, because Hashem wants to be served in all different ways. Sometimes one way, sometimes another way. So if circumstances come up that he has to talk to someone and spend time talking, he has to talk to somebody who's working in his house, how they should arrange the furniture. It's not learning, it's not davening. He's traveling and he can't concentrate on his learning. Nevertheless, don't get upset about it and just recognize that Hashem is arranging. He wants to be served in many different ways. And today he wants to serve you in this way. And you should know that don't judge by the way things appear to you. To you, it appears that this is not a good thing, but Hashem knows what's best for you. And therefore, you have no idea that you might be accomplishing something even greater by doing what you do. So just trust in Hashem. Yeah. Here's a mimer. There's a lot of other explanations and elaborations on this, but this itself is a small little piece. And that's the way Hasidic Rebbes, Hasidus was taught in the Baal Shem Tov's generation and the generation of the Maggid Mizrich. Very similar. And other Rebbes, other Hasidic leaders taught the same way. The Alter Rebbe went, and this is very similar to the way it is with the Talmud. The early generation, there was no Gemara, it was just Mishnah. What does a Mishnah look like? Like Pirkei Avos, 4 lines, 5 lines, 10 lines. Then it wasn't enough, and they began to write the Gemara, which is pages and pages and pages explaining one little Mishnah. That's what Gemara is. Why wasn't this done before? So obviously, it's a process. First, the Torah is revealed in this way, in the short Mishnahs, and then things were revealed in a way that it would, to elaborate on it with Gemara and all the details, and the same is also with Chassidus. So based on all that, that means there were two times where there was a complaint, so to speak, to the Alter Rebbe. And the complaint was that not that he's studying Chassidus, that's already been taken care of, but that he's beginning to teach Chassidus in a new way, in a way where he's revealing it more, exposing it more. Because when you teach something in all its details, it's much more exposed. Let me just give a general idea. So the Alter Rebbe his life was being threatened. His life was in danger because he was doing that. But nevertheless, after he did this, the Alter Rebbe said that means he was given the green light to go to the next level. In fact, the Alter Rebbe said that when he was in jail, he had visitors. Who were the visitors? The Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid of Mezrich. What does it mean they were visitors? Does it mean he had a vision? Does it mean that he had a dream? So the Rebbe once said, no, it means that he actually physically appeared in his room. How does he know this? So he said that the previous Rebbe once traveled. When he came home, he told his father, which is the Rebbe Rashab, that I found the cell where the Alter Rebbe was, and I went to visit that room where he was held in jail. So the Rebbe Rashab said to him, are you sure that was the room where he was? Was the room there for 3 people? If there's no room there for 3 people, it couldn't be his room. Why 3 people? The Maggid, the Baal Shem Tov, and the Alter Rebbe. So the Rebbe says from this story, it's clear that when they came to visit the Alter Rebbe, they came as they were when they were alive, physically in a body, and they occupied physical space. And there had to be room for 3 people in the room. And what happened when they came? The Alter Rebbe said to them, why is all this happening to me? And they're the ones who said to him, it's because you're revealing Chassidus in a way that was never done before. So the Alter Rebbe said, so should I stop? And he said, no. Now that you've done this, you broke through the barrier that was blocking. And as a result of that, not only you shouldn't stop, but you should actually continue and even more than what you did before. That's why it's known that once the Alter Rebbe came out of jail, he began to spread Chassidus and teach Chassidus in a way that was much more elaborate. When we say elaborate, I mean Chabad is called Chabad because there's the word Chochmah Bina Das. Like you can talk about concepts in Chassidus in more lofty, abstract terms, or you can explain it that you understand it, and you understand it like you understand Gemara, like you understand Halacha, like you understand other logical things. And that's what it means to elaborate, to take deep concepts about Hashem, but to sort of process it in such a language, in such words, with metaphors and explanations that can make it understood, just like we understand everything else in our lives. And that was the new level of teaching. And he told Alter Rebbe, because you had Mesiras Nefesh, you opened a new door. I don't know if you learned this Sikha, but this is similar to the story with Yaakov. Most likely, this is a Sikha that you learn where the Rebbe asked, the story with Yaakov, that his mother said, put on this coat. It looks like Esau's hands with a lot of hair on it. It was a fur coat. And your father won't recognize that it's you, he'll think it's Esau. So Yaakov said to his mother, but Ma, he might realize it's me, and then instead of getting a blessing, he might get a curse. So what does Rivka answer? If he gives a curse, don't worry, she'll take the curse. So Yaakov said, okay, now I'm going. Think a second, what happened there? When he thought he's going to get the curse, he wasn't ready to go. When he heard his mother's going to get the curse, so now he's ready to go? How does that make sense? What kind of son is that?
No, it makes sense.
No, so the Rebbe explains, no, it's not Chas v'Shalom that. When he saw that his mother, at the point of Mesiras Nefesh, she's ready to give up her life and take Yitzchak's curse for this to happen, then he knew that he'll be successful. That was the answer. Because there's certain things that in order to get that bracha from Hashem, you have to make an effort. What kind of effort? For some things, a little bit less. For some things, more. And certain things, an ordinary effort is not enough. Has to be an effort that you're going all the way out and nothing is stopping you. And when you do that, that's making you the vessel that Hashem will give you this bigger bracha. So when Yaakov saw that his mother is going out all the way and nothing is stopping her, then he knew that she will be successful. Same thing with the Alter Rebbe. By the fact that he had Mesiras Nefesh, he was ready to give up his life, and he didn't stop. And he wanted to reveal this part of Torah that people should be able to serve Hashem, daven and learn and do mitzvahs on a higher spiritual level. By doing that, he broke whatever barrier there was, and the heavenly court ruled that you can go out and reveal the hidden secrets of Torah on this new way. And in fact, the fact that the Russian government gave the Alter Rebbe the okay to go out there and teach was really only a manifestation that in the heavenly court they ruled that he can go out and teach. So down here they also gave the same ruling. Any questions? Usually a little bit more time for questions, but any questions on what we just did?
Really, like Yaakov and the Alter Rebbe are the same, like Shpizin, right? They're really, are they connected?
Who?
Yaakov, Avinu, and the Alter Rebbe.
In terms of Ashpiz, no, the Alter Rebbe corresponds to Avram Avinu. Avram was the first, and the Alter Rebbe was the first.
Oh, okay. I'm saying like in the Sukkah, it's like the third night is obviously Yaakov.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Yaakov, sorry. Baal Shem Tov is Avram
Yeah.
Avinu, right. Oh, good observation. There you go. Yeah.
So is there a really connection?
Is there? Yeah, well, the Rebbe spoke about it many times.
Okay.
Yeah, almost every year about the connection. The one more thing that I wanted to add regarding what we did in the Baal Shem Tov, that Hashem wants you to serve him every way, means basically that if things don't work out the way I want them to, like the example I gave, someone, God forbid, is not well, and he can't eat on Yom Kippur, he can't fast on Yom Kippur. So should he cry about it or should he be okay? Or maybe even be happy?
Yeah.
Oh, so basically, it's not what I want. I want to be able to serve Hashem. But if Hashem made it impossible for me to do it, to put me in this situation, that means that I'm fulfilling his will today by eating on Yom Kippur. I don't know how happy a person could be. It's already a very high level. But there's a cute story told with two great Hasidic leaders, two brothers. One was Rabbi Melech, and one was Reb Zusha, that they were in jail. And in other words, this was before they came out as great tzaddikim. They used to travel, and their identity was unknown. They traveled like as if they were just homeless people. And really, they had a mission to do certain things wherever they went. But somewhere, someone accused them of stealing. They got them locked up in jail. And one of the brothers turns to the other brother and says, I see you're down. You're not in a good mood. Why? He says, what do you mean, why? Look where we are. We're in a jail. And in those days, in jails, in general, they didn't have plumbing that we have today. So in the jail, there was a bucket with a lot of garbage. And not just ordinary garbage. I can't daven in this room. I can't make brachas in this room. I can't put on tefillin. How can I not be sad? So the other brother said to him, but wait a second. Who put us in this jail? Hashem. Who told us not to daven, not to make brachas, not to put on tefillin? Hashem. So right now, by not davening and not making brachas and not putting on tefillin, we're actually fulfilling Hashem's will. The other brother said, well, you're right. And we put each one his hand on the other person's shoulder. They started dancing and singing. And all the other non-Jews in the jail were clapping their hands, and a big commotion. The jail guard came running. What's all this commotion about? So one of the other people in the jail said, I see that bucket there? That's making everybody so happy. Okay. If that's the case, he goes in, he's so angry, takes the bucket, I'm taking it out of the room. Took it out of the room, now you can daven, you can do mitzvahs, you can assume. But the point was that if that's what Hashem wants me to do now, that's what he wants me to do now. Okay. So now we have a little break for davening, and then we have a guest, Rabbi Hamnik, to come for breakfast.
Is it downstairs?
Yeah, I'll be in the middle floor.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
this.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, come more often, Chaya. If you can.
Here's more copies, Rabbi Majeski. I'll bring them upstairs. Your file.
Oh,
What is this gangster stuff?
thank you.
Legend.
Yeah.